I didn't know what. I honestly don't know what's all going on in the world of Star Wars, other than the Bad Batch. But I don't know if there's anything like big news or anything. I've been kind of off the radar of late.
I know you've not been here for a month.
I know, and that's such. It's well, last weekend it was. It just happened to work out that, or the last time we would record, it just happened to work out that way. Like I said, in 3 Mondays, not this coming up Monday, not the next, but the following, my daughter will be here. So, like, we've just been getting stuff done around here, and she's been awfully big. And the last time we went to record, we weren't going to be here anyway, and then she wanted to. She was hungry. I was hungry, so you know what? I just took her to feed her and the little guy and stuff, and then just trying to do that husbandly and fatherly duty.
Yeah, Zach was a great co-host. We talked about
Oh,
Light of the Jedi.
great! There was great episodes in the episode that you and Clay did with I can't remember his name on Rising Storm.
Ryan.
Very very good too, because as someone that didn't read it, you guys walked me through. You gave me enough tidbits. You actually interested me, and like you guys said, there was still more in there to be found. So I thought that was a really good episode, even though it was spoiler filled. Like you still walk people through enough without explaining every beat by beat and chapter by chapter. So I thought it was very well done. My hats off to you guys.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
So we're just gonna roll right into it. Hello,
Sure.
everyone. This is Star Wars Alliance, your home on the Geek Ultimate Alliance podcast network for any and all things Star Wars. Joining me today for the first time in a month, like I said, is Nathan, co-host of Star Wars Alliance. Been
Yes.
missing, but yes, got a lot going on. So
Got a lot going on, and while we're sitting here and I'm just kind of running it through my head, I think I'll be able to get one more show in, and then the baby will be here. And I think the next time we record will be like fresh off that week. So I may miss one more. Like if the kid's only a week old and my wife, maybe. But other than that, I should be ready to roll. But I think I should be here.
well, it works out. It works out because next episode, we're gonna do Darth Bane, Path of Destruction.
Yes.
And then the following episode will be Out of Shadows by Justina Ireland. So you can miss that.
So that might actually work out perfect because be fresh off. She'll still be coming from surgery because, like I said, so like it. Yeah, you know what? That might just work out perfectly. Sometimes the Force works in mysterious ways.
Exactly. You want to roll us through the podcast paperwork
spiel? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Katie said it's been a month, but I think it's like riding a bike, right? I can still get it. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, where you can find a plethora of shows, 9 shows in total, one show for every day of the week. On Mondays, we have World's Finest True Believers one week and alternating weeks with Ranger Alliance. Tuesday is DC Alliance, and those guys go live Monday nights. So if you want to see those guys live, you can see them there. Wednesdays is now Superhero Discussions, which is all your anime cover. Thursday is Katie's Day, with rotating between Slice of Film and Star Wars Alliance. Friday now is where you can find Marvel Alliance, since Disney Plus releases their stuff on Wednesdays. It just makes it smarter, makes it easier, a little, and they go live on Thursday nights. And then you have a nice little Friday episode to get you through the weekend for your Marvel content. And then on the weekend, we have it's our comic book rundown with Jim, as he does. He covers Marvel and DC respectively on all the current and latest and greatest going ons, and the ups and downs and all that. But he'll get you through all that. And then we are an ad-supported network. We don't get to choose the ads, the volumes, the repetition of the ads, because my God, I cannot tell you how many times I've had ads literally play like 4 times in a row, and I go, "What is happening?" So like we don't get to control it. It even irritates us. And then we do have a Patreon where $1 just kind of helps keep the blaster charged, That's just like a thank you. And then there's a $5 tier that gets you early access to episodes, ad-free episodes, and exclusive content of other stuff that we may not typically talk about on any of the shows, but it's something all the hosts want to get together and talk about. Or it just might, our favorite comic book movies. Where there's a nice little collection of Patreon content now, so you can get quite a few pieces of content, as they like to say in the podcast world. And I think and there is also now with Marvel and DC, they do have, you can follow the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, on your podcast link and get everything. You can do all that as normal. but you can also do Marvel and DC respectively. If some of the other stuff isn't your taste, you just kind of want to hear those hosts or whatever, just maybe you just want to hear DC content or just Marvel. You can get those, and they are asking that you guys go in and rate and review on your podcatcher of choice. And I know DC is actually going to do some kind of giveaway. Travis and Clay are, so it would behoove you to search their the DC Alliance link and go in there and write them a review. And I think that is everything.
Marvel Alliance, excuse me. Marvel Alliance is actually doing a giveaway right now too, and it's kind of relevant.
Sorry. Oh yeah, the Star Wars book.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry because I remember hearing that and going, I want to win that book. So yeah, I'm sorry.
I know. I was like, do I qualify? Do I qualify?
Sorry, Chris. It didn't Brent. My bad. But yeah, I forgot they're giving away. I know that Star Wars Legends stuck out to me. So yeah, sorry. They are doing a giveaway too.
So they're giving away a new Black Widow omnibus, as well as a Star Wars Legends Old Republic omnibus, which is a volume 1. So it's I think they're doing like 2 more volumes after this. But dang it, if I rate and review, do I qualify? Can I get that one specifically?
Are those the ones? I think aren't those the ones that have some Revan adjacent material? Like he pops up in a couple of comics and stuff. I want to say that like he may make appearance, not like that he's a main character, but I want to say like there's that he's either, I don't know. I could be wrong because I've never read him, but I thought that I read that he might pop up in that timeline from here and there.
Yeah.
Because as we were talking about the Dark Disciples or whatever, I've got like an hour left on the book, and man, I forgot how much I love The Rise of Bane. It's been a couple of years now since I did. Like I still remember the book, but my God, I forgot how much I like The Rise of Bane. And I can't wait to talk about that. I'm gonna have to stop myself from not powering through the other two.
Path of Destruction.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I just the whole trilogy. I got to stop myself, and so that way we can, you know what I mean. We'll talk about But I forgot how much I really enjoyed that book. I also did some reading this morning. I, for the first time, read the Darth Maul comic, Son of Dathomir, which takes place after Palpatine captures him. They were the unused Clone Wars episodes that after it got shut down, they did the comic. And I thought that one was really well done. And I would have really liked to have seen that in the Clone Wars animation because it was a pretty good story. There would have been some good action beats, and it's well worth the read. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and I know I said I was going to try and read it too, but it has fallen off the
I get it.
Amazon sharing library thing. So. And
I also got a little Sandcrawler that I found. So, other than that, I've been doing a couple little Star Wars things here and there. But I saw this and I said, well, I gotta have that. It was only $5, so I got a little Sandcrawler.
Well, let's get into the news. Okay. Oh no, I did not want to share a video file. So we have a lot more than I thought we were gonna have to talk about, but so first things first, Hasbro is releasing a Black Series Dave Filoni figure.
Dave, you've made it. You've officially made it.
Trapper Wolf. And I was gonna look up the other guy, who's Carson something. But there was some promising news about like him potentially getting one, which I hope he does, because he was so excited about being a member of the Star Wars universe.
Sure.
So I just want that for him. And then you've got the scene in A New Hope, with Obi-Wan cutting off the dude's arm.
The cantina.
Yeah, the cantina. Vintage figures. I'm not into toy stuff. Toy action figure, whatever you want to call it. So this is just,
as she just offended 90% of our fan base. She's like, this motherfuckers with their toys, go home and go to bed.
I really don't care if y'all like this stuff. Like, it's just not for me.
I know.
Like, I know. I collect my books. I have the nice Rising Storm out of print $50 books. So
I have a lot of things that I like to tell myself that when my son gets older, like he's gonna appreciate it and he'll take care of him. I've been saying since I've got him all that, like, yeah, that's gonna be for him. But I just really like to look at a lot of it. But and then when I had to give my room up for my daughter's room, putting it all away, I'm just kind of like, oh, I don't get to look at it all. It's all in, totes all stacked away nice and neat, and I'm just kind of sad.
Yeah. The next bit of news, and this is something that I wanted to talk about, like no doubt.
Hmm.
So Ronin is a Star Wars Visions novel, that we had gotten word about probably like 6 months ago. It's being written by Emma Mieko Candon,
Sure.
and here's the cover. I should have probably pulled up the trailer first,
Yeah,
for Visions,
whatever.
but this is based on one of the Visions anime, excuse me, very important,
Hmm.
anime studios, like shorts. So it looks like Visions is going to be like 5-minute episodes, like just short films.
Sure.
And so this one is based on one of them.
You can
And
you can pack a lot into 5 minutes of animation.
yeah, it looked very impressive in the trailer, and I am gonna bring that up so people who are watching on YouTube right now or later can see that. But they did also publish the summary that's gonna happen. That is a part of the book. Excuse me, y'all. Like my brain is completely fried right now. So it sounds very interesting. It goes into Ronan is a former Sith who's wandering the galaxy, uh, and runs into kind of the Jedi. And the Jedi in this story are the most loyal servants of the Empire. It breaks it down and says 2 decades ago, Jedi clans clashed in service to feuding lords. Sickened by this endless cycle, a sect of the Jedi rebelled, seeking to control their own destiny and claim power in service of no master, calling themselves the Sith. So, what did you think about like that part of the summary?
I mean, I don't. Okay, so I'm in a weird like predicament with this because like I do really like anime. Like I've been recently been watching a lot more. Like I've always been Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing, and then more recently like Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer, whatever. So like I'm into it, but I'm not necessarily a fan of my, for instance, like my comic books in like anime form because like to me they're like they're just two great flavors that don't mix. Like here's a great example, and it's not, and it's only one example, and there's a couple other, but like here's like DC did that Batman Ninja where they
Oh yeah,
did.
I hated that.
Oh, I got up and turned it off. I got up and turned. I never turned. I will sit. I watched Fan Four Stick in the theater and did not get up and leave. Okay, I paid money and watched that 2015 thing and stayed the whole time. All right, so that'll tell you how badly I'll do. Like, and I got up and turned it off. There's Marvel did this thing with the animation studios where they did like X-Men, they did Wolverine, Blade, and somebody else. Oh, Iron Man, and like when you're starting to watch the X-Men one, which they're not as bad, but like it just irks me because like they're doing a lot. They it's just their styles that don't mix to me. You know what I mean? So like I really like these things. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna like their interpretation of Star Wars or putting it through, taking the tools of Star Wars and putting it through their, civil. I don't know. It's a lot of times that doesn't work for me. Now that's not every time, but I mean I'll give it a chance, but I wouldn't be surprised if I go, okay, that's not for me with this. I don't know. I know that sounds strange, but that's how I am.
But also with it being, I think it's 10 studios, because each
Sure,
studio kind of did their own episode, so their interpretation of Star Wars, one studios
absolutely.
may not be for everyone, but then this one may turn you around and go, okay, yeah, I really liked this short film.
Out of
So
10, out of all 10 of them, like there might be two or three. Like I could like all 10 of them. I could like five, two, one. Like you're right. There's with 10 different styles and 10 different studios. I would be very shocked if I didn't like any of them. You know what I mean? But just for the
mhm.
most, I'm just going off, my from what I know of myself so far, stuff that you know what I mean. Usually that doesn't tend to work for me. So, like you said, out of 10 different studios, I could see one of them go that right there. So I who knows? I'm gonna give it a chance. It's just right now, I'm a little, I'm just trying to open myself up to it.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about Visions kind of later on, but this is based on one of them. The Visions anime stories in and of itself are not canon.
Yeah,
However,
yeah.
this one, there's no word on if this is canon or not. With it being based on a story, in not necessarily like reflective of it, because that's what they were specific about in the Star Wars news article. Like it could be, but it also could not be, and it just could just be something that's the author spoke to it, and it's like, so it could apply to just different fans is what I'm saying. But this
Sure.
book comes out October 12th.
Hmm.
It sounds really interesting. Going back up to the cover, you've got it looks like a really cool lightsaber, but you've also got a lightsaber sheath right here. So
Hmm.
like following on like the typical samurai feel.
That's what I'm talking about. Like something like that's automatically gonna go, "Urgh," and that just doesn't sit right with me. Like I said, if this is any other story, a dude comes out with his sheath and his sword, I'm like, yes. But it's Star Wars, I'm going, that's not how lightsabers work. And
But
I
with
know
it
it's
being
for Bridget, you
older,
know. I
like
get it.
because this
I
is all
get it.
based older, so
Katie,
they might
I'm a
not be able to
psycho.
turn.
If you
I
haven't
know.
noticed, I'm a psycho, so I get it. You know, I understand it doesn't make any logical sense. That's just how I work.
I'm just like with it being kind of potentially an older story, they might not be able to turn the lightsaber on and off, and it literally just
That's
is a
that's a good point.
sword
If it's twenty
that they just
thousand
put away
years
in the.
ago, right? If it's 20,000 years ago, and it's still, you know, space travel and all that, but it's technically like they're in the Stone Age of it. You're right. Like that could be their first, like where they're almost like the toys, where it's just the rod, and then you flick it on, like your kid's got one, and then it
Yep.
lights up. So it could be something like that.
And then somebody on Twitter asked Del Rey, "Is this like a cybernetic beard?" And Del Rey had an interesting response to that, which is being like, "Oh, it's a lot more than that." So this could be interesting, but it doesn't. Can I zoom in?
A cybernetic beard.
Because it doesn't look like
All
the rest of
right.
his hair.
All right.
So it's something.
What
So
if it's
I'm
just
really
like chin
interested to read.
armor? What if it's just like chin armor and like he's got like a chin attack or something? Because man, if you watch anime, there's some crazy powered stuff. Like people will do some weird powered shit. Like he's just got a super powered chin. He's just headbutting motherfuckers with his chin. Just getting in there after him.
I guess. I guess.
In the
Oh,
Star Wars world, it'll be some kind of way to like harness the Force through him to focus it, or so. Well, I mean, if you go back to the Old Republic, Malik, the Revan, ended up cutting the bottom of his jaw off, and he had to have like a metal implant around the whole bottom of him to
yeah.
even talk. So maybe it's just like a battle scar, and he just kind of has to put that on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if Del Rey's talking about it in those terms, then it's gonna have some kind of fancy little thing to it, I'm sure.
Well, and Tom talked about how much this story like challenged him as an editor, like
Really?
trying to just think outside the box. So I'm really excited. Like, I
Hmm.
haven't read a lot of Emma's work, but should should be interesting. This story I found it. It's based on the Duel, which is one of the Vision shorts.
Hmm.
And she said it feels like a period drama a la Akira Kurosawa. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so
He's the one who made
definitely
like
very
Akira, so like Seven Samurai and all that kind of shit.
yeah. Um, looks to be a character study through the Duel's singular lens as also something else. Reflect parts of the author's own story as well as a Star Wars movie made me get representation, and I've tried to honor that feeling in this book for my own sake and for other people. So we'll see how it goes.
Sure, sure.
October 12th, it comes out right before my birthday. So I figure this is like the book that's meant to be.
Comes out right
So
after my birthday, so
yeah. All right. So I'm not gonna share my screen for this one.
Okay.
But Tamir Morrison has been doing a lot of interviews for one of his films that's about to come out. And so he talked about who's going to be directing episodes of the for the book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, he kind of let it
Um,
slip on accident or something, right? Didn't he? Like he kind of just threw it out there, and they were like, "Oh."
yep. So we've got Robert Rodriguez,
Mhm.
Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Dave Filoni, which are
Nice.
all four directors that we've seen on The Mandalorian. I'm really excited to see more from Bryce. Like, I really have loved the episode she's put forward for The Mandalorian. So I'm curious to see what episode they've got her on for the Book of Boba Fett.
See, and that's interesting. And I know they could be doing multiple episodes, but I had heard like somebody mentioned that they think it might be only a 4 episode series. So you naming those 4 names, like that's a number that's like that they'd heard. Now I don't know if this person has any. That's just a little thing that scuttlebutt that I'd heard. Who knows if it has any validity? But with you saying that there's just 4 directors, maybe. But I know a lot of time like like Dave will do 2, or maybe Bryce or what. So who knows? Maybe it could be a typical 8, and they're each doing 2.
Right. Well, and I think we heard that Robert Rodriguez is going to be directing multiple episodes. So I don't
Okay, so
know if
maybe
it's
that's
going
what it
to
is.
be 4
Okay.
episodes.
See, like I said, maybe I don't. Like I said, I have no idea what if that holds any water. It's just water. That's just something that I heard. So who knows? Maybe I dreamt it and it just stuck in my head. But that just sticks out in my head for some reason.
Yeah. So the new Star Wars Newsnet article has the quote. In an interview last month, Tamir Morrison said that Robert Rodriguez directed a few more, which would indicate the episode count will be higher than 4. He also said that there are some wonderful directors involved, which we don't know if it's an indication of new names that were brought in or not.
Good.
Because remember, in the past, we've been told, oh yeah, these people are directing some episodes, like for Mandalorian season 2, but we also didn't know who was directing 2 episodes for Mandalorian season 2 until those episodes came out, and that's how we found out who directed them. So never know.
Good point.
Little bit on Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. So she is in charge completely of the first movie for after the Skywalker saga. How do you feel about that, Nathan?
I don't know.
I'm excited.
I really
to see
like Wonder Woman 1, but she had a little more. It was a little more of a collaborative effort. And in Wonder Woman 2, they kind of let her do what she want. And I mean, some people really like that movie. Other people went, "What the hell happened?" So take that for what you will.
Yeah, I'm hoping it leans a little more towards Wonder Woman 1 versus Wonder Woman 1984.
That movie was awesome. The first one was great.
But I saw some promising things with like the cinematography and how shots looked when they were flying. That really makes me excited for like some of the X-Wing parts. So she had an interview with The Hollywood Reporter where she was asked about how the development of Rogue Squadron's going. She said, "It's going amazing. I've been on it already for 6 months before I had been on it already for 6 months before I even announced it. So we're pretty deep into it. We're finishing a script, crewing up, and it's all going wonderful. I'm so excited about the story and excited that we're the next chapter of Star Wars, which is such a responsibility and such an opportunity to really start some new things. It's really exciting in that way."
Still no indication if this is going to be completely whole new era, if it's going to take place in the sequel trilogy era, like in between that gap, or is it going to take, we don't know if it's going to take place in the Imperial timeline of like the actual rebellion, so we don't know, do we? We don't have any, or is it going to be during the High Republic era? Is it going to be 100 years after the Skywalkers? Like, we still don't have any indication on that, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay.
I figure, so the film is set to debut in December 2023, so they've got to start filming soon, which means we're going to be hearing some casting announcements, which would kind of give us a direction of where it's going or when it's going to be occurring. However, like, they could choose to keep some stuff secret. Like, if it's a after sequel trilogy, but still in that kind of era, you might choose to keep Oscar Isaac's cameo a secret, to kind of help conceal those efforts. Similarly, with like after Return of the Jedi.
It's true. They're gonna bring Admiral Holdo in. Holdo's gonna be the big cameo reveal at the end of Rogue Squadron. You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first.
That would be if it's in the original trilogy era. She was also asked about kind of the difference in how Star Wars films are made, and they specifically referenced, with a vast and ever-expanding canon of interconnected storytelling, checks and balances are always in place, even when directors are given a full blessing of creative license. So what is working on Star Wars like for Jenkins so far? And she said, "It's an entirely different way of working. I'm on the phone with all of them and doing Zoom meetings with everybody involved in Star Wars all the time. I'm fairly free to do the story that we want to do, but you really need to know who's done what, who's doing what, where it goes and how it works, and what designs have been done before. It's a whole other way of working that I'm getting up to speed on."
What do you think about that?
I find it interesting. I've always thought and we've talked about this some before, but with Star Wars, there's definitely more checks and balances from the story group and Kathleen Kennedy a lot more than kind of necessarily in other places. Like we know Warner Brothers is very free right now with whatever story they're telling.
Yeah, very
So,
true. Very true.
um, I always feel like this is going to be a little more limiting with what they're going to choose to do, and especially with this being Disney's first film after the sequel trilogy, they really need to kind of step up and make their own mark, which is why I think they're going to lean more towards the sequel era and kind of build on that as their arena.
See, and
In
I
the movie
also
world.
I agree with you that I think it's going to be set in time inside the timeline. But my best guess is with exactly what we're doing now with Mandalorian and everything else is we're filling in the time from between because we've got we did Rebels, we got the Clone Wars, we're doing Bad Batch now. We basically got that time sealed up. The Bad Batch is showing us the transition to the Empire. Well, now I think we're going to start filling those gaps in from Return to Force Awakens, and so I really do think it's going to be set in that timeline, especially with the way she said that she has to not ask but talk about other movies that are in development and what has been done and where it's going. So to me, that would say she's locked into our main timeline is my interpretation because if she wasn't locked into the main timeline, she's either locked into that one or she's locked into the High Republic time because that could be two because having to check about all this stuff because let's just say if they were said hey Patty, your Rogue Squadron it's gonna be 500 years after the Skywalker saga, she wouldn't necessarily have to check except for character designs. There wouldn't be any canonical anything unless she was going to refer to old ancient history or if let's just say she just to do it 100 years before, well I guess we're in the High Republic, though 600 years before the Phantom Menace. I mean, it would to me it seems like it's going to be in one of our two timelines because why else would she have to check so much about what has happened and where it's kind of going? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I still lean, and I do agree with you. It's either going to be original trilogy or it's going to be sequel trilogy.
I think sequel. I'm leaning sequel.
I think it's going to be sequel, and primarily it's because she's talked so much about her father being an influence here with his fighter pilot experience and kind of that legacy of what that leaves. So to me, especially with the whole stance, she's read Michael Stackpole's Rogue Squadron books, which if you haven't read them, again, talk about them a lot.
Right, you highly recommend them. Yeah, every time they come up, you sing their praises. Yes,
can't help it.
And that takes place after Return, or is it in the time right before
after Return?
Okay, so it does take place right after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
see, that's the area I think we're going in.
To me, I think with those, I think. And it's hard because they're movies versus books. Because if this was a book, I definitely think this would be sequel trilogy era. But with it being a movie, Disney's probably like, okay, yeah, I can step on that. But to me, also, it seems more legacy focused, whereas Rogue Squadron in the original trilogy kind of says, okay, I'm going to kind of just build the New Republic. But if you go sequel trilogy, then you've got Wedge Antilles, who's kind of gonna really lead your building of your empire here, and also be able to talk about those war stories that were in the original trilogy era, setting up the New Republic then, and kind of building just on a legacy of what things could be. You could also have it balanced between the two, where Wedge, like we've talked about this before, but like Wedge telling.
Wedge will be in it.
You don't think Wedge will be in it?
I think she's gonna do her own characters. I think if we're gonna see one, Wedge could be a cameo. Wedge could be the like they're in some shit, and all of a sudden, almost like the Mandalorian, like Luke Skywalker coming in. Only it's Wedge. They get the alert of like, wee, and it's like, oh my god,
Oh
he is it.
no.
And Wedge pulls up and he just knocking him down. You're like, yeah, but I think Wedge. I don't think he's the focus. I think he's the cameo. I think we're more likely to get completely original characters or a Hera Syndulla adjacent, somebody in the Hera timeline, if not Hera herself, out there in the battle lines, making her squadron.
See, I don't think.
Somebody like that. I really don't see. I honestly, God, I don't think it's Wedge, and it's because Disney. I there's a lot of reasons and a lot of things going on in the world today that they will not. Wedge is not going to be. Maybe a side character or a quick introduction of like, hey, Wedge gives us our orders and he goes on. But it cameo at the most.
See, and I can see that for the sequel trilogy, but completely all original characters in like the original right after the
Sure.
original trilogy, I don't think that's going to happen because you've got characters to reference, whether it be in the
That's
movie where they survived or kind of just in the books. And we know they've been tying in book stuff.
okay.
So you can't just say they're going to do
You're
original
right.
characters.
You're right.
So
That's just my gut feeling. That's just my gut feeling is Patty going all original. But like you said, with her father and like her real life experience and that legacy, Wedge would be a good. So like I'm not completely discounting you at all because your argument is completely valid, and I would love that. I just don't see it happening. And again, maybe like I said, who knows? Maybe we get the plot synopsis next month and Wedge is front and center, and I'll be over here going, I'll eat a big bowl of crow and just be loving it. But I just don't think so.
No, for me, I just think, especially you're playing in a sandbox with characters already, and that's what she talked about.
Absolutely.
Was trying to figure out who's doing what, who's done what, who's going to do what. So
even if like Wedge is he's like the captain or like the colonel or the general, whatever, and even if, like we just check in with him and he's watching all the monitors being like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I'll take that, but because I agree with you, I'd love to see that or anybody that we saw in Return of the Jedi, like any of those people we could focus on to go on. But I don't know. Like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm excited to see what she does because she does have a keen eye. I don't know. I think she's going to take this Star Wars very seriously, and I think she's going to try to make a very heartfelt and just great action-packed Star Wars movie.
Yep.
But that's all I got to say on it, unless you have anything else.
No, I don't have anything else.
Should we take our first ad break before we jump in anything else, or you want to push on?
Yes, let's take an ad break. We will be right back, y'all. Remember, we don't get to choose the ads, how many times you hear the ad, nor how loud they are, so go ahead and get those volume levels ready for us. And 3, 2, 1, we'll be right back. And 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Thanks for listening, y'all. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, y'all. So first things up, after the ad break, we have Star Wars Visions. So this is a big one. So we've got no, I don't want to do that one. So Star Wars Visions will be premiering. Oh gosh, I had it. Anyways, it's going to be premiering September 11th. So Discussing Film went ahead and tweeted kind of the imagery from each segment, and then I'm going to play the trailer. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can be prepared for that in a second. But the first story is Tatooine Rhapsody from Studio Colorado, which is a Star Wars rock opera featuring Jabba, Boba Fett, and more.
See, like that to me does not sound appealing whatsoever. But that's just me. Like I said, that's just me.
But for 5 minutes each, you can watch them.
But the art, like even if the stories aren't familiar with what they do, like animation studios, like these people are top of the effing game when it comes to animation style. Like these they make some of the most realistic and gorgeous. I'll never discount their art stuff because it is they do. I could never hope to do anything like that.
Yeah, this is just really impressive. So
exactly.
The next one is from Studio Trigger. It's called The Twins. which is the story of a brother and sister relationship inspired by Luke and Leia, but one struggles with the dark side. So I was really impressed with this animation, and it's in the trailer. Some of these shots, like, cool.
I see, like, that one does kind of like, I could that one, if we're talking so far, that one appeals more to me, where I go, okay, maybe that's more of my, you know, I can fall. All right.
Okay. Studio Trigger is also produced The Elder, which follows a master and Padawan who encounter an unknown enemy. And this short film marks director Masahiko Atsuka's final work. I'm trying, y'all. I'm really trying. So you've got some stuff here. The Ninth Jedi is produced by Production IG, which tells the story of a time when Jedi were only legends and follows the daughter of a Jedi lightsaber smith.
Okay.
Science Saru produced TOB1, and it's about a droid who dreams of becoming a Jedi. He's a cute little guy. He's so cute.
The animation style is not necessarily. I don't know. That one may be lower on my list, but okay. Next.
He's cute.
He's just a cutie.
Okay, that's all discussing film day included. But let's watch the special look.
All right. See, like, some of that stuff is looking real good.
See, that's so cool.
Oh, I know. Like I said, I've been watching a lot more anime in the last 2 years. Like, I've really been jumping up on my anime game, and man, they do some great work. The visuals that they can pull off an animation style is absolutely mind blowing. Like, something like that, you know.
Like, there's your Ronin, the duel.
Yeah, and it's like, how does that, like that comes out of somebody's mind? How do you know do the flowing and the cape work and the like? Oh, you know what I mean? Just the backgrounds, the environments.
Yeah,
people are just like, man, there are some talented people out there. And when I see stuff like this, I just realize how useless I am. I'm only good to work with my body, and that's it. Because everything else I do is garbage.
I was gonna make a joke. You are a garbage man.
I know. Damn it.
You kind of set yourself up for that.
I did. I set him up. You knock him down.
This looks so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited for this.
Like I said, I'll check them. I will definitely check it out. I just don't know how it'll sit with me. You know what I mean? Like I said, from all my caveats earlier.
So we will do an episode right after these premiere, and that will go live, so we can get in on the reaction. The Astro Boy influence for this droid.
You can tell. You can absolutely tell.
And I've never seen Astro Boy, but I know what he looks
like. Like that shot right there where they were on the ground, it was glowing shit. It's like, just gorgeous.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, that's not necessarily so much for me, but I get it.
Star Wars is full of aliens.
I know. They had a Bugs Bunny or a Roger Rabbit lookalike for in Legends for a long time.
He's made his return.
JoJo or Bojo? Oh God, somebody's screaming it right now, but I can't remember his name.
Oh, he's flying like a jet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so pretty.
You know what I would like to happen next after this, now that they have this relationship here with these studios?
Yeah.
I would like them to take whatever is the crispest and the best looking anime, the one that people go, whoa. And I would like Disney to give them, structure them a box. Like, here, you're going to, like, almost like a Clone Wars episode, almost like, here, make this in your style, whether it be a half hour, or whatever, so that way people could really see like what you know what I mean? Because like I'm the first one. I love Clone Wars animation. Like I love that
Mhm.
style. Like Clone Wars, Rebels, a Bad Batch. Now, like I love all that. But like take like let's just say like let's just take the Clone Wars final arc of Maul and Ahsoka and stuff. Take those 3 episodes and give those to the studio that did like Attack on Titan or one of these studios. You know what I mean? Like these big blockbuster and do that exact same
Yeah.
episode, but let them animate it because I want people to see like some people be like, oh my god, the stuff that could
Ooh.
be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like oh that the finale of Clone Wars looked beautiful. Like that was beautiful, the Ahsoka fight. But I'm just saying, if
Yeah.
you saw what they could do in just 2D animation like that, like well, I'm not saying everybody hasn't, but there's a lot of people that haven't. I
Yeah.
would just like to see something like that. Give them the characters, give them a sandbox to play in, but say, do it in your style. Like here's your story. Here's your story. This just animate this for me.
Yeah. That could be really cool.
Mm-hmm. But
Um,
I after watching the trailer again and talking more about it, I am like I'm trying to get out of my own head with it and just go into a space of like, yeah, all right, it's just 5 minutes. Let's see what we got.
and just remember, it's not canon.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
Star Wars Visions will arrive September 22nd on Disney Plus, and it's all gonna drop at once. So all 10 shorts will be coming down. Like we said, didn't have to fit into the timeline, so they could tell whatever
Right,
story they wanted to.
right.
It is an all-star lineup of anime studios
Yes,
that have kind of joined in for this effort. So really impressive that Lucasfilm was kind of just able to get them all to coordinate, not necessarily coordinate, but also like just come together for this.
well, like in Japan, like they do, like anime studios over there are just as big as like big production companies for live action
Yeah,
movies and stuff, if not some of them bigger. But like I said, Demon Slayer's manga and their movie and like literally saved Japan's economy in the 2020 pandemic. Literally. So the
yeah,
from one anime, like the movie and the animated series that they did, and the manga, one Demon Slayer, the property, literally helped save their economy and keep them afloat. Like, so that's how big these companies are over there. And I can't remember which one does that, but I'm just giving you the scale of,
yeah,
like that's not bottom level stuff here. Like you hear like cartoon, right? Like these are players over there. These are big
yeah.
companies.
Um, Star Wars Visions has been a long time coming. Several panelists expressed their fandom for anime while also noting the influence that Japanese culture has had on Star Wars since the beginning. Um,
Absolutely.
and it wasn't a prerequisite, but the creators behind the Star Wars Vision shorts are all Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, I mean, let's go back to George Lucas and the Kurosawa influence of the Seventh Samurai. Like, you can see it in Obi-Wan. Like he's
Yeah,
in the Jets. He's the old samurai. He's been put retired. He's what I mean, and he has to come back to the fight and train the next generation of this young samurai. It's
yeah,
literally like George used these. I don't want to say tropes, but these tools and put Star Wars on it, spun it around, and like he did a lot of spaghetti western stuff too. But that was the brilliance of it. It was the old Flash Gordon stuff. He took all this stuff that influenced him that he loved as a kid, wrapped it all in one into Star Wars, and threw it out there, which is why it's so universally like people everywhere can see yourself in some part of Star Wars. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like without anything. That's why the original trilogy is so beloved in so many people because there was so much for everybody. There's something for everybody in it.
yep. Due to COVID-19, obviously, Visions met with some production hurdles. Working in a mostly remote production uh, made things especially complicated considering the differences in time zones and production pipelines.
Sure.
Because there was the ability to do a lot of travel. So
Sure.
probably Lucasfilm would have gone to Japan and or they would have come here and said, okay, here's what we got, changing things
Absolutely.
up.
Or a
So.
lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of emails and that. So I get it. Yeah.
Mhm. The duel from Kamikaze Duga infuses Star Wars with Japanese iconography, which is the basis that short's the basis for Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Concept art features a samurai-esque Jedi and Sith, an astromech droid with a straw hat, and more that embraces Japanese culture. It was just irresistible. We were all overwhelmed when we saw this artwork. Um, the duel had director Takanobu Mizuno had one goal, and he said he was really clear on that he just wanted this to be a love letter to Star Wars.
That's what I like to hear. No
So,
matter where you're from, that's what you know what I mean. When any property you're working
mhm.
on, that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear,
Yep.
yeah, just I want to make a love letter to it. That's how we do it.
He said, or wow, well, I don't know who this person is, but it's WAUGH said the core theme of this short ends up being such a Star Wars story. The tale is ultimately about someone who must choose selflessness, a core Star Wars theme. As far as visuals, the duel will be told in black and white with splashes of color for certain elements, like lightsabers. On Geno Studios' Lop and Ocho, the visuals reflect its messaging. The design style in the short really focuses on the collision between natural beauty and encroaching industrialization.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the short also features a space bunny person. Her name is Lop, Lop, whatever you want to call her. That's probably the person where you're like, I don't know if that's for me.
Yes, that's exactly who I was referring to. And then, like I said, there's in the old legend stuff, there was basically a Roger Rabbit knockoff, only like a buff Roger Rabbit out there that was flying around Han Solo and counter demons. I can't remember his name, like I said, and I can't even be bothered to look it up. I know because I'm an a-hole, but yeah, he was out there doing stuff and was like a smuggler or so he was out there doing things. So let's just put it that way.
Tatooine Rhapsody influenced the entire Star Wars Visions project, which is the space rock opera one. Tatooine Rhapsody was one of the first pitches Lucasfilm received, and though the far out concept initially caused some trepidation, that feeling soon changed. It allowed us to go, you know what? That's what Visions is going to be about. We're going to roll the dice. We're going to tell stories that we couldn't tell anywhere else.
I get it.
Triggers, the twins and the elder will offer new spins on Hallmark Star Wars motifs. The twins subverts the idea of Luke and Leia and imagines a brand new set of twins born into the dark side and how far the brother will go to save his sister. What?
Oh God, I got such a bad taste in my mouth with the subvert. Yuck. Thank you, Rian Johnson. Now every time I hear that, yuck. That's an automatic. That's a bone killer right there. I could be ready to go, and I hear I'm gonna subvert. Just boom, just done. Getting up and walking out. Yuck.
This is even represented visually with a co-joined Star Destroyer. The Elder, however,
Star Destroyers. Now I'm back in. I love Star Destroyers. I'm back in.
The Elder, however, takes a closer look at another kind of Star Wars bond. The Elder is a homage to a classic Star Wars master and Padawan relationship. You'll also find the dual meaning of the title after you watch the shorts.
Okay.
We got 6 more points. I just find all these interesting. The Village Bride by Kanemis Citrus follows a fallen Jedi, but not in a way you'd expect. The guardian of peace and justice observes a local tradition in a far-off village through the eyes of a bride on the eve of her wedding day, and an unexpected choice she must make to save her people. It's poetic, meditative, and romantically bittersweet. Oh, Nathan dropped. We are going to pause now for Nathan to rejoin because it's also cleaner editing. So if you're on YouTube, I apologize. I figured that was going to happen, though. I've been reading Annihilation. Oh, he's back.
Yeah. Sorry. Hi. I don't know. StreamYard wrecks my system. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm back. Continue. Sorry.
No, I paused because I was like, I need clean cuts on the audio.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
So now we are back. So Nathan, thanks for playing. Science Saru's 2 shorts, Kakira and TOB1, share a similar cartoonish style but different tone. So it's a Kakira Kiri is a beautiful yet painful story about a princess. Oh, that's a typo. Look, okay, I gotta share this.
It's all right. Hey, we'll cover and edit. Hey, we'll edit this in post. It's all right.
No, look, it's just gonna bug me. So this is TOB1 and TBO1. Come on, Star Wars, you gotta edit your stuff better. is a more heartwarming, fair, cute,
Mhm.
and fun story of an adorable droid who dreams to be a Jedi.
Okay.
Science Saru founder draws influence from many of the same sources as Star Wars. Uh, Lucasfilm was especially excited to work with Production IG, makers of The Ninth Jedi. They're true anime pioneers from Ghost in the Shell to the anime sequence in
Oh
Kill
yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, that's a play. There you go. Nice. Nice.
The Ninth Jedi is an absolutely epic story according to Rhimes,
Now
but
I'm
it actually
interested.
began as two separate shorts. One was said to be in a time when Jedi have fallen into legend and need to come back as darkness threatens the galaxy, with the daughter of a lightsaber smith seeking out the Jedi and delivering their weapons. The other story was to be told from the point of view of 8 warriors coming together, learning if they are indeed force sensitive and can trust each other. Ultimately, the decision was made to combine the stories in order to achieve something on a grander scale. We brought those two tales together to create something really epic and special. They had us at lightsaber smith.
Interesting.
While all the shorts have original scores, there's something extra special about the music for The Ninth Jedi. The score was recorded at the Musa Kawasaki Symphony Hall, an acclaimed modern venue.
Okay.
Star Wars fans who don't know anime, fear not. Lucasfilm is confident that you'll find something to enjoy in Star Wars Visions. These things go together like peanut butter and chocolate. So hopefully they love this combination as much as everybody on this panel does. So
Uh, I got a feeling that they're probably not going to reach that many people, but it's there though for the people it does get.
exactly.
There's a lot of people
Uh,
who love Star Wars are going to look at that and go, "What the fuck? I don't even watch Clone Wars. Get the fuck out of here with this shit." And you know what I mean?
but you're gonna draw more anime fans into Star Wars.
Sure,
So
maybe that's what they're gambling on, possibly because
that's what they're gambling on.
people know what Star Wars is, they know what anime is, and like I said, maybe it's worth. It's not a bad idea. It's worth a gamble.
Yep.
Okay.
So a cool bit of news that's not necessarily like Star Wars universe related, but it kind of is. The National Air and Space Museum is going to display Poe Dameron's X-wing from The Rise of Skywalker.
Nice.
It's going to start displaying in 2022, and they're working on kind
Making
of
one that
restoring
flies.
it.
Uh,
They're working on restoring it and making sure it can uh be like kind of preserved.
mhm.
Um, so
Wouldn't that be the
the
shit if
reason
like
behind
you just looked up in the sky and like you thought it was a plane, but no, it's like an X-wing that they actually made fly. That's like actually you're like, holy shit.
um the reason behind the decision to showcase the starship from a Star Wars film is to highlight how important these works of fiction actually are for the development of new air and space vehicles, as they often inspire people all over the world to look to the sky and stars.
Well, shouldn't we put the Millennium Falcon up there then? Because that was
I
like the
know, right?
inspiration of all the inspiration. Again, if we're doing it, the Enterprise, like if we're gonna be real about it, let's put the Enterprise and the Falcon up there because those are what really got people going. You know what? We should make some crazy shit.
Um, oh, I was trying to see because they had will be the first Star Wars vehicle to join long-term display at the museum since the Myth of Magic exhibit in 1997. So maybe they did have a Millennium Falcon and uh Enterprise in
Vulcan,
there at
Falcon,
some point.
whatever. Right.
Whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But this one's also like it's the real size, so they may only have a specific amount of space. You know, if you'd stop smoking, that'd help a lot.
Yeah, I'll be all right. Get a headache.
Um, Next up, the Clone Wars. See, I didn't think we had much to talk about, but there's actually a lot to talk about. The Star Wars Clone Wars has landed 3 Daytime Emmy Award nominations.
Nice.
Because they premiered roughly after the show ended after the Emmy nominations last year, so it qualifies for this year's. Um,
Nice.
so they had outstanding writing team for a daytime animated program. Where's the other one? Outstanding writing team for a daytime animated program, outstanding music direction and composition for a preschool, children's, or animated program, and outstanding sound mixing and sound editing for a daytime animated program.
Good.
So,
It was deserving of some awards.
Yeah. The award ceremony will be this weekend, so we will know next episode if they get anything or not. And last, but certainly not least, I gotta re-share my screen. The Tempest Runner audio drama with Lorna D on the cover. We got a cover reveal, and a synopsis on the audio drama. So this is by Cavan Scott once again. Cavan has been really busy for the High Republic. So props to you, Cavan, and you did a masterpiece work for The Rising Storm. So can't wait to see how this goes. But it comes out August 11th, and will focus on Lorna D, who holds the Tempest Runner title in the Nihil hierarchy. So it had a summary. I'm not gonna read it.
Read it
because I'm lazy.
Right.
Yeah. Plus,
hey,
like,
we told you it's coming. You guys can do the legwork if you really want to read it or find out what it's about.
It is on StarWars.com, so if you want to go read it there, you can. But it comes out pretty soon, so it actually comes out a month from today, which is when we are recording. Plus, I think when I read the synopsis, I read it after I finished The Rising Storm, and it kind of has some spoilers in it, I feel like. So that's also why I don't want to read it, because I don't know who's read what and everything. So, it is on StarWars.com, so you can read it there. I've already pre-ordered it on Audible as well, and the synopsis was there too. So if you pre-order it, then you'll be able to read it. We don't know if this one's going to get a script book or not, but I would assume so based on kind of the production of Dooku Jedi Lost and the Dr. Aphra, that it will get a script book at some point.
Well,
so
wasn't it they weren't going to do one for Dooku, but fans were like, I'd like to put this on my fucking shelf, and they were finally like, all right, we'll do it. And then with Aphra, they just straight up did it. They were like, you know what, we're gonna do the, I don't know if it was simultaneously, but they had already had that one in the works, I do believe.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Dooku was after the fact, and it was just because fans
Yeah.
were like, hey, come on.
Well, so Dr. Aphra was not a script book when it first came out. The script book came out like 3 months afterwards.
Mhm.
And the Dooku Jedi Lost one, there was actually several fans who kind of brought to the attention of Del Rey, like, hey, we've always been able to read this, but they're deaf. So they were like, hey, Dooku's one of my favorite characters. I'd really love to be able to read this. And Audible at one point was like doing closed captioning for their stuff. But they came under fire because technically that's not what they're licensed to sell these books for.
So it was like bump, 2 bumps, space, bump, bump, bump. I'm just fucking with you.
You get what I'm saying.
I know. I get it. I'm being a dick, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. Forgive you. So we'll see what happens. But Lorna D has been a fairly popular character, especially from the Nihil. So I would imagine that they're going to do a script book for this as well. It may just be a later publication. There's no news on it yet. So
okay.
With it,
is it main event time?
Ad break.
Okay, ad break, and then, well, I guess not main event, but you know what I mean.
Main event.
Exactly, because I'm with you, but let's take our ad break and we'll get into that because I am with you.
Yep, we'll be right back, y'all. And 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Well, sorry. So you're right. I'm glad that we had more news than that because if we would have just had this whole episode be Bad Batch, it would have probably been a fairly short episode because, man, I mean, Katie and I haven't talked. I've listened to the episode, so I've heard what she's, but like, are we just like spinning the wheels and going through the motions? Like, because there are some background stuff that is like, I feel like all this little background things of like how the Empire's going, we could have put that into like a mini series of like a 3-episode mini series. Been good because this rest of this shit is all filler.
I'm really trying to figure out, and people have said, and we're y'all, there is gonna be spoilers. We're gonna go just straight into it. Episodes
Yeah,
10
yeah,
and
yeah,
11 for the
yeah.
Bad Batch, because I don't feel like segregating this crap out
Right. Like it just kind of.
this because people for episode 11 were like crosshairs in this episode predominantly. So he's part of the
Okay.
Bad Batch. So that's a completely fair point.
Sure.
Completely
Sure.
fair. And I
It's
realized
valid. It's valid. Yeah.
and a lot of people are like, "Oh, small galaxy, right?" Well, yes.
Mhm.
This is supposed to be about the Bad Batch, not
Absolutely.
one
Absolutely.
character,
Sure. Sure.
not oh, the Bad Batch is in it for 2 minutes, so we're good. Don't get me wrong, I loved seeing Hera, and I loved getting to kind of
Yeah.
see how she gets her start. And I imagine the next episode's going to be a part 2, and probably the Bad Batch, like, rest of the crew is gonna come in and help, like, pull her out and everything. I imagine that's what's gonna happen.
Sure.
But what the heck? This is episode 11. We have 5 episodes left.
Now,
Where is the plot going?
okay, so like if these two episodes specifically were a part, like in season 4 of the Clone Wars, I would have been like, yep, okay, this is right because I want to know more about this. Like it's more of Ryloth fitting in, like the what's happening, but like, and I get that they're showing us the transition, like it's because this is what I'm talking about, like this episode specifically, and then some of the other background stuff of like Tarkin and all that other stuff. Like put all that together to make one little mini series of the transition to the Empire, because that's what this show is basically for. They're trying to
Yeah.
show us the transition, but like a lot of the stuff is just I feel like we're just spinning our wheels and we're just having a wacky zany adventure over here that really doesn't mean anything, while we're giving you bits and pieces of here's how the after Order 66 and the Jedi fell, this is how we rolled the Empire out, which I do want to know. But you don't have to string me on for 16 episodes with these other like basically just your little zany side character plot to get to give me those nuggets. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like if they had taken an approach to say, okay, let's do arcs straight off the bat and let's like just go for the arc segment like Clone Wars did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe then that's not that bad because then okay, I'm gonna get an arc at some point that says this is like plot moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Clone Wars was. Like Clone Wars was a bunch of arcs that somehow tied into a plot altogether.
Sure.
So
an overarching narrative.
Yeah. So throwing in this Hera episode now is just like.
And don't get me wrong, I love seeing young Hera. I'm a Hera fan. I love Road Rebels. I love seeing Chopper.
We're both Hera fans.
I loved that, but in this late in the game in this show, like what are we doing? Is this a cameo of the week show? Because I feel like every episode there's been like a hey, remember this guy? Hey, remember this girl? Hey, remember that droid? Remember this? Like I don't know. I feel like there's a bunch of member berries from South Park. Member, like they're just giving us all. And I am a fan of that stuff. I'm not discounting it, but I feel like the show's existence is to be a cameo of the week, almost. Do you know what I mean?
The way it was put out to us was it was not going to be that. It was going to be, like you said, originally a team in space. And it's like,
yes.
What?
Yeah, like we're going to go around and we're going to help people out that like, we're going to do this. And they're kind of doing that, but not really. It's focused on Omega and Hunter becoming father and daughter somehow, or like, I don't know.
And I liked seeing the parallels in this episode. Well, in these 2 episodes, because you get the Separatist planet, which is over here.
Yes.
And
that's a good point.
You can do that, and then you got the Republic planet with Ryloth, and how they're kind of combating the Empire, or kind of how they're reacting to the Empire coming to their planet.
They were big in the Clone Wars. You're right. That's a great point, and it's a great, like you said, flip view.
So I'm not mad at kind of the episodes. The episodes I think are good, but in terms of the overall storyline, what the fuck are we doing?
Honestly, why didn't we just, if you had these stories you wanted to tell, it feels like we're cleaning up the Clone Wars. It feels like why couldn't you just say it's the Clone Wars? Just in it and put, you know what I mean? Put it like, just say, hey, this is which it is, but we could. I don't know. It just feels like during the Clone Wars, they had the plan to go to Order 66, and then they wanted to do a few episodes after that, but still call it Clone Wars, but they couldn't do that, so they're like, oh no, let's call it Bad Batch, and we'll still do the same thing. And it's just, I don't, like I said, I'm enjoying it. The animation is great. Like I always enjoy being in the Star Wars world. I love seeing Hera and her dad, you know, and Cham Syndulla and Chopper, like Chopper being. I love all that. Like Cad Bane, I'm a huge Cad Bane fan, but it's like. Mm-hmm. What are we like? What that like? I'm hoping by the time we get to the end, we go, oh, this all makes sense because all this flowed together. Because no, right now,
yeah,
I'm just going, what?
And that's what I plan to have us do kind of at the end is kind of judge the Bad Batch kind of as one season whole. Afterwards because we're doing this episode by episode, and really I hate kind of doing this, especially when the show is shorter than 30 minutes because you really. You really don't get a lot of detail in this. Not to say that it's not beautiful, not to say that the episodes haven't been good, but when you kind of put it together at the end of it, you can kind of see, okay, this is how much filler we got compared to this much plot.
Yes.
Because they could all, like, somebody in a spoiler chat that I work with for Full Circle Cinema, he was like, well, it seems like they're following kind of like the Mandalorian plotline, which they're taking a shit ton from the Mandalorian right now. So
well, the Mandalorian did it better, I guess. I feel like
the Mandalorian did it better.
Yeah.
But also with the Mandalorian had 30 to 45 minute episodes versus this is 16 episodes.
And it was brand new and shiny and like in a new kind of way. So like I get it, you know. It's like, ooh, look over there.
Yeah. So for me, I think you can kind of say yes, this is kind of following the same plotline, but his point was like, oh, like at the very end, they're gonna pull in the sisters, they're gonna pull in Rex, they're gonna pull in Hera, and kind of had one big spiel at the end.
They're gonna get the Avengers together.
They're gonna get the Avengers together.
Yeah, you're gonna have Captain Rex being like rebellion or rebels assemble, and he's just gonna be running out there. Yes. Because you know Captain Rex is definitely the Captain America. If they're coming together with these guys here, Rex is definitely the Captain America.
Oh yeah, totally. That's really in and of itself. That's all I have to say about this.
Like okay,
I'm so pissed off with where the show's going that I'm unable to talk about it.
Like I don't want to sit here and bash it because it is Star Wars, and like I said, I love the animation. Like Chef's Kiss, gorgeous. Like the way it looks so realistic. I love seeing the walkers again. You know, the 6-leg. I can't the AT-ST or you know what I mean. I love seeing those again. I do like seeing the clone trooper. Like in this episode on Ryloth, the clone trooper that looks like he has his faculties and like doesn't want to take Hera in and like he lets it slide. Okay, I love that stuff. Like and you know, I did enjoy seeing Crosshair in the last like actually finally seeing him come up and stuff. Like, but I don't feel like there's like I said, I like the batch, but it's just there's always a reason for Tech and Echo to go off and do something, and then you know what I mean. A Wrecker gets hit on the head. Like I don't know. And then Omega being okay. So she now they didn't actually say, or did they say that is she Jango's DNA? Because I know they said
they still haven't said that.
Okay, see that's what I was gonna say because Boba's Alpha, you know, and he's out, and then she's Omega. Now, I don't want it to be that she's a Jango and they just made the XY chromosomes and they were like, oh, she's a lady, so we can hide her because her and Boba look nothing alike. But I do like if there's some kind of big mystery reveal of like. I don't know, for lack of like Duchess Satine or whatever. I'm not saying that's just my fill-in name, you know, like to find out we cloned her or whatever, or somebody else that we're not thinking of that's this big player, like, oh shit. Like, okay, maybe that makes it worth it. But right now, like she's Alpha and Omega, like in the way they kind of linked them, you know what I mean? I just okay. I do like Omega. She's growing on me more and more. I really did like her and Hera sitting in the ship and like they're showing each other and they're just kind of talking and she shows her room and like I really did enjoy that, but it's just like I don't know if that's what I'm looking for. I feel like this whole series is filler, and I don't really know. Like I said, I'm liking the stuff, but the plot lines and stuff is just this isn't something I have to rush to turn on every Friday. This isn't like oh shit, I need to know what happens. You know what I mean? Like I gotta turn this on. Like I've got to see This is I'll get to it Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Oh, we're not doing anything Friday night. The wife and kid went to bed. All right, okay, I'll check my episode out. And
Yeah.
that's disappointing because I felt like their other stuff other than Resistance was even like Rebels got to the point where people were like, shit, that's appointment TV. Like we got to be there for Rebels. Like when they come, we got to be there.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like they've hit it with this.
So, for comparison purposes, just because I find this stuff interesting.
Sure.
So here's young Boba with his hair
Mm-hmm.
in the Clone Wars. And then here you've got Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not seeing it.
No, I'm not
Like,
seeing
even
it
the
either.
nose looks different.
She's got to be somebody else. You know, she's got to be, like I said, fill in the blank of a character that we, you know what I mean, that's from that era. But she's got to be somebody that we don't know about, or I don't know.
There's even like a morph.
Yeah.
That's not really helping.
It's not really helping.
Anyways.
But I get it. Like I said, I do like Omega the character, but like they're setting, and like I heard people be like, she's a master fucking tactician. Why can't wait till her and Thrawn face off? Whoa, damn, that, like, you know, that little gif of like that escalated quickly. Like we went from she did some good shit in this episode to she's gonna fucking take on Thrawn and the check. Get out of here. What are you talking about? But like yeah, I swear to God, I heard that scuttlebutt of like, her and Thrawn, there's gonna be a fucking tag. There's gonna be a masterful battle of mine. What? She is 12 or 13 or whatever. She is not taking down Thrawn. Stop it.
I've never not heard that.
Oh, I saw that.
Pretty funny.
I saw there a couple threads on Reddit where people were like, this is the greatest. Now we know her purpose. We know what her thing is. And then like immediately went to Thrawn. I went, whoa, we went from 0 to 100. Okay. All right.
See, that makes me that makes me glad I don't follow any Star Wars Reddit.
Oh, God, like I had to laugh at it. Like I didn't comment. I just had to laugh, and I was like, "Well, okay, I see what they're like."
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, it's good. We're coming down to the wire, and hopefully this all wraps up to where, you know, maybe like I said, as the Avengers, you get Rex and the Martezes, and you get Hera and Chopper, and like we get all these kind of people together. Even we wrote Cad Bane and Cut LaQuaine, and every cameo we've seen, somebody comes, Caleb Dune comes running back in, and like it makes sense. But right now, I'm just, like I said, it's not a Friday night as soon as I get home watch. Like it's not even if this was a Wednesday night, because you know that's Disney's new thing. It's like, oh, people, yeah, Wednesdays are better. People, they're gonna watch shit on Wednesdays. Even if I come home on a Wednesday, this might not be like I gotta get to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't like saying that because I love Star Wars. I love, you know, I don't know. I'm just talking in circles now. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it because I don't feel like anything happened. You know, I feel like the Hera episode, like, okay, well, I'm dreaming of flying. Oh, we know that because we saw her be a motherfucking badass pilot for 5 seasons and, you know, like commanding her ship. Like we know, guys, we know.
Yeah. We know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's all we have to say about it without further bashing.
Yeah,
so,
and I'm not trying to bash. So yeah, I think we should just leave it alone. And hopefully the next time we record, we go, it makes sense. This was genius.
Yes, because there's only 5 more episodes left. So please, for the love of everything, make it make sense. And where can they find you? When can they find you?
Well, with the baby coming, it's gonna be okay. You can find me here every other. I'm back, baby. I'm back. You know, unless the baby literally takes me away from it. But I'm back. You find me every other Sunday morning here with Katie at what is it, 9 Central, right?
Yep, 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
9 a.m. 10, you know, and you can find me here. And then usually every Friday nights on Super Civil Servants Live at 8 o'clock Central. So, or 9.
Got the 100th episode coming up this weekend?
Yes, that's coming. It's coming. Well, I think Greg might be out of town this weekend. It might have to be pushed back. I'm pretty sure he's got something going on where he's going out of town. I got to talk to him, but it's coming up very soon. So like we're very excited about that because not a
And I
lot.
will make my return, I promise.
Yes, not a lot of podcasts make it to past into double digits, and that's a real number. Like not a lot of podcasts make it to 10. So to make it to 100 episodes really is some that's some shit. So like
Well,
that's
been
all that works
impressive.
on Greg. Yeah, but that's it. And Katie, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Twitter. That is becoming more and more sporadic because I'm on it less and less, which is a good thing.
Sure.
But I still check my messages. So if you've got a question about Star Wars, you can send me a DM. Uh,
Comments. Yeah.
yeah, comments. Like more than happy to do it. Um, Twitter is at Slice of Katie, which is displayed here on the YouTube. Um,
Oh, wait,
and
what we're talking about, if you want to leave a comment on the YouTube video when it gets released, so we'll pull that up and we'll look too. If you want a question in the comment, even if it's after the fact, if you watch this video, and it's after the fact, and you're like, oh, I want to, about this, put it in there. We will figure this stuff out to where we can answer questions if it's easier just to do it like that. So while I was thinking about it, I just wanted to put it out there.
oh, definitely. Yeah. And I don't have an email for the show like I know Chris and Brent do. I probably should do that. Maybe that'll entice more people. So if that would help you too, leave a comment and I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we will be talking about Path of Destruction in 2 weeks. So
We
very
got to
excited.
get Clay
I
on.
need
We've
to
got to get Clay on because I know he really enjoyed it too. So yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get Clay, and I think Sarah's gonna try and read it too. But I've got this book, and then I've got Knight Errant to read before Path of Destruction. So I will be reading the rest of the
Oh,
day.
and by the way,
So,
I bought the new copy of Path of Destruction for my show because I've only ever had an audiobook form. So I'm just going to collect all the new copies when they come out. Since I know they're doing it for sure now. That's when I picked it
yeah,
up. Whenever you sent me the picture of the cover of the one, I was going by Target anyway, and I was like, okay, now I'll pick this book up because I was gonna get. I didn't want to get them in all different ones, like so. I was like, okay, I'll
yum.
get all of them in the same size.
But do you see what I'm talking about on the cover, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
the cover's shorter than the pages?
Well,
That bugs the
mine, I don't think is because I looked for that, and I don't think mine's like that.
Oh,
I'll have to pull it
I'm
out next
jealous.
time. I'll have to pull it out and then really check on it. It's in the living room. It's too far away right now, so it's on
Yeah,
my bookshelf in the other room.
with me, just like I'm gonna be nitpicky about it because
Sure,
I
sure,
already
sure.
have all these books. So I'm like, I really just want them because they're pretty covers. And if the cover ain't pretty and like perfect, then no. So,
All right.
but
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail. I just want to bring that up what we're talking about. I got the book and I've been loving it, and I'm ready to talk about it. So.
yes. So we'll be doing that next. So very excited. Because I haven't talked about that book with anyone. I've read it a couple
Mm-hmm.
times in the past. But we'll go through that entire series. So make sure you're following the next couple episodes for that. Um, you can follow the show. It's on Twitter as well. It's at Star Wars Alliance without the A in the wars. Very important. Don't forget it. My other podcast is Slice of Film. It is Slice of Film 1 on Twitter. I need to change that because that one really bugs the crap out of me. But um squirrel. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Um and we just did Fast 9 with Joe. So that was last episode. And then this upcoming episode will be A Quiet Place Part 2. And I will be dropping that this coming Thursday. So both Star Wars Alliance and Slice Film will have episodes drop this week. So yeah. I'm on
All
top of my
right.
game right now.
All right.
But that is all I have. So I want to thank
That's
everyone
it.
for listening or watching, whatever time of day you're here. And we will see y'all next time. May the force be with you.
Always.